everybody. I'd like to introduce you to her story. My name is Lavina and I'll be telling you a little bit about her story. Her story is a program that I have developed and formulated, and it comes from a passion deep down in my heart. And this passion has been stirred up by the different testimonies that I heard people sharing, about situations they've been through and life storms and life battles that they have overcome. I found as I listened to these kind of stories, it brought such a liberation to me and such a sense of freedom. And I felt if I could feel like this, listening to somebody's testimony, imagine how everybody else would feel. So I thought I'd formulate a forum that would enable people to come and share their testimonies. And that's what her story is all about. But I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I come from a family of 5 children. There's 3 girls and 2 boys, and mom and dad in the home. Our family was actually, we had beautiful times. I remember there was laughter in the house. There was jokes. But like every family, there's no family that's perfect. Every family has its dysfunction. Every family has its disability. And I think it's these disabilities and these dysfunctions that make us find our place in life and where we really fit in. Sometimes we make good decisions from these dysfunctions, but sometimes we make bad decisions as well. And I came from a family that had its fair share of dysfunction. My dad was a good dad, but he also liked his fair share of alcohol and a little bit too much of it. My mum, however, did the very best that she could, and she raised us constantly going to church and going to youth group. And I think for me, that's where my stability and my grounding came from, and I wasn't kind of grasping at straws. I loved my dad so much. I mean, when I met my husband, I was with my father. We were going out one night and we had a really good relationship. Unfortunately, my dad died in the year 2000, and to this day I still miss him dearly. Death in the family can really bring about just such an emptiness sometimes, because nobody can really fill that void of that loved one and that member of the family. But it doesn't necessarily mean that they're gone for good. I came to learn this when my older brother Alistair died at a very young age. He was only 35 years old. And 4 months after that, my younger brother at the time was only 20 years old. He got murdered. And the sad thing about that was I couldn't even make it to his funeral. And man, that tore me up inside, and that left a big void inside that I didn't know could ever be filled. And I guess my faith was really tested. And it's these testing times where the rubber hits the road and you find out what you're really made of and who you really are. And I found the faith that I have in Jesus Christ was what kept me rock steady. That's what kept me grounded. That's what kept me, looking up, but not looking up in a hopeless way, but looking up in a way of hope. And that's why I talk to you today, because I've got hope. And it's that hope that I'm trying to extend to you today as you listen to me. You're listening to me now because there's something inside you that's been touched. And I thank you for listening. And it's these stories that we want to hear. I want to hear your story. I want to hear the challenges that you faced. I want to hear what you've come out of and even what you're going through. And as we share these stories and as we listen to these stories, I do know that a new sense of hope will develop inside you. And I know for us as human beings, when we listen to each other, there is a compelling that rises up within us that tells us that, you know what? I can dig a little deeper. I can go a little farther. I can climb a little higher. I can run a little faster. And that declaration only comes by hearing, by hearing. So your voice today, what's your story? I want to hear it. My name again, Lavina Botha. I'd like to hear your story and what you're all about. I'll put all my contact details down for you to get a hold of me. Get in touch with me. Love to hear from you. And you take care. God bless.